Alright, here we go. Hello everyone, and welcome back to game number 3 of the 100 subscriber special 2v2 tournaments. If you have not seen game number 1 or game number 2, get out. It's your last chance to spoil it. It is tied 1-1. Two very well played games by both teams. Whoever wins, whoever loses, there should be no shame. And it's not often I see European players taking it to the Chinese, so that's always nice. But let us introduce our players. Spawning as the pink human, it is Yumiko. And his opponent, spawning as the other pink, not his opponent, and his partner, spawning as the other pink human, it is Th00. And I will talk about what Th00's doing in a minute as we have to introduce their opponents. Spawning as the brown undead, it is Ente. And his partner, also spawning as the brown undead, we have Juan. Double human versus double undead on Twisted Meadows, and Th00 speed built his altar to get that early archmage out. And no barracks. What Th00 and Yumiko have done in game number 1 and 2 is they'll both pull the militia and they'll both clear out a quick expansion, and I wonder if that's what they're gonna do now. We do see the later barracks for Th00, and keep in mind Twisted Meadows, even in 2v2s, the human players like to militia creep their goblin laboratory camps. Which is why Ente is Ted fiending, and so is Juan. So both the undead players doing the Ted fiend build, allowing him to get a quicker tech out, the quicker Death Knight out. They'll get that Death Knight a rod and move him out to do some harassment. The only flaw with the build is you don't get that many fiends out like you would with the normal fiend build. And already Th00 pulling the militia towards the gold mine spot. Same thing with Yumiko. We have another double militia creep here. But a nice Acolyte Scout of Juan does see this happening. So I'm sure both the Death Knights, when they're out, are going to move in to try to harass. Alright, what will be the item? The Ogre Magi is known to drop some pretty decent items. Talisman Evasion is not one of those items. Alright, Ente's Death Knight out with the rod. Same thing for Juan, except she's going ghouls. Oh, I didn't even notice he didn't build a graveyard. Juan going ghouls. Ooh. Okay. Let's see how this goes. We do see yet again a paladin first out of Yumiko. It worked so well for him in game number 2. If you could get him high up in level, the holy lights just kill. They just shred. But Th00 building some defensive arcane towers. He does not have a lumber mill, so he can't build any guard towers, but Juan with the Ghoul Force doing some nice harassment at Yumiko's base. Very nice harassment. Oh, come on. Get that. Get the militia. Oh. Alright, meanwhile, at the same time, Ente moving in with his... Oh my gosh, they both went ghouls. Oh, I didn't even notice. That is such bad casting by me. Oh, they both went ghouls. Ah, I should have checked for the graveyard. I just assumed Ted fiends. Oh, okay. So, double ghouls here, doing a nice bit of harassment here, although Th00 and Yumiko both hanging around the expansion, so they're both able to defend it pretty well. Juan moving in with his 4 or so ghouls. Th00 even pulling more militia, and I believe Ente's Death Knight surrounded. Never mind, he surrounded himself, able to slip it out. Juan can, of course, has 1 coil in his system, so he can coil Ente's Death Knight if he needs to. He's almost getting surrounded. He might want to think about it. Ente needs to be so careful with that Death Knight. Alright, Juan still has that 1 coil. I'm pretty sure he's saving it for his ally's Death Knight. Meanwhile, at the same time, these two are having themselves a little brawl. Th00 starting the town hall, starting to get those towers up.
Town is under siege.
Ooh, Ente, pay attention, Death Knight, taking a lot of damage. Alright, we still don't see a tech. Alright, Juan tech in the tier 2, getting more ghouls. So I was wondering if they were going to commit to this ghoul rush here. We see a graveyard going down from Ente. I don't know what Ente's plan is. All I know is his tech's going to be very, oh my gosh, his tech's going to be, okay. I'm sorry, Windows 7 likes to do this to me. Alright, his tech's going to be very delayed. Alright, Juan continuing the pressure at Yumiko's base. Forcing militia to be pulled. It's just slowing down the gold and wood income slowly. And Juan going into Yumiko's expo.
A player's forces are under siege.
Do we see a graveyard out of Juan? Alright, so I think both of them are going to try to transition into the standard Fiend Destroyer army. But Juan continuing to try to pressure. Only one Arcane Tower here to defend. Th00's Archmage getting level 3. So level 2 Water Elemental's got to suck. But we do have Ente coming with his Ghoul Force. Neither of the players are at level 2, so no Unholy Aura. Oh, Juan's gotta be careful with his Death Knight. Might get surrounded. What is Ente doing? It looks like he's going into Th00's main base and gonna do a run by, so there's no defenses here. So nice little timing here. Meanwhile, Juan just continuing to be annoying. Might try to get a cancel on that Arcane Vault. Yumiko pulling 3 militia to try to deal with this. Th00 just losing a lot of peasants here. Gonna have to run by and defend. Ente's gotta be careful with his Death Knight. He does have a TP should he need it. Long range coil to save a ghoul. Level 2 on the Death Knight. Finally gonna get down to Holy Aura. Eventually. Okay. And Ente gonna TP out. Meanwhile, Juan continuing to pressure Yumiko's base. He has 1 guard tower to defend, and Yumiko with some nice multitasking, using his army to clear out the laboratory camp, even picking up a Goblin Shredder, so Th00's gonna have plenty of wood later on. And now Juan with quite a bit of ghouls, as they are at tier 2. We do see a Lich second for Juan and this Slaughterhouse. Meanwhile, Tech to tier 2 for Ente is still on the way. We do have Fiends coming in though, so both the players probably gonna transition in.
Forces are under attack.
They did pretty nice with their ghouls. I kinda like the idea of it. Ente gonna creep away, maybe try to get level 3 in his Death Knight. Level 2 coils would be pretty nice, whereas Juan still trying to put the pressure. Doesn't want Yumiko to creep easy, especially with the Paladin. Paladin works just like a Death Knight, boys. The higher level he gets, the more annoying it is for you. But Mantle Robe of Magi plus 6 means a heck of a lot more mana. So that's like one of the best items Yumiko could get, really. But Juan getting level 2 in his Death Knight, clearing out the Null Overseer camp. Yumiko clearing out the Goblin Merchant camp. Alright. There's the Lich for Juan with the Rod of Necromancy. And Ente with a lot of ghouls, a lot of fiends. He's probably trying to get level 3. Maybe he wants to expand here in the near future. He's pulling an Acolyte, so yes, he is going to go for the Expo. And we do see a Lich second for Ente. Alright, Juan continuing the pressure Yumiko's base. Meanwhile, Yumiko just started his tech to tier 2. Same with Th00. Funny how the guy with the expansion gets the tech before the guy without the expansion. Holy Light snipes the Fiend. That is a level 2 Holy Light. Oh my gosh, double Robe of the Magi. That Mountain King has Holy Light for days. Plus he'll have Brilliance Aura in the big fights. Wow. Alright, Th00 with a Zeppelin. And looks like he's going to do a Zeppelin drop. Ente does not have any defensive towers. Going to have to pull some ghouls. At least pull the Acolytes. There you go. Alright, but the Haunted Gold Mine is going up. Neither Yumiko or Th00 knows about it. Juan and them still having their little brawl. Ghouls being pulled by Ente. There's some weaker-ish footmen here, but they can be loaded up into the Zeppelin. Ente running back in to defend. And Yumiko able to push away Juan for now, building more defensive towers. And a footman scout by Th00, seeing the expansion go down, so now they know about it. Alright, we do see tier 3's almost there for Juan, and we do see double Slaughterhouse. I think he's gonna focus more on destroyers. But Th00 doing a lot of damage here. Ente building a gargoyle to try to shoo away at that Zeppelin. But Yumiko Th00 wisely keeping the Zeppelin over the army head so they can kill that Garg, as Gargs aren't exactly tanky. But Th00 gonna back off for now. He did decent amount of damage, I would think. Juan's creeping away. Expansion up and running. Shredder up and shredding. And we see a straight tech to tier 3 out of Th00. So I wonder if he's going to try that like gyro tank army composition again. Ooh, gonna have another engagement here though. Meanwhile, Yumiko creeping away. I've done so well game number 1 and 2. Now I just can't keep him in line. These games that made my brain go numb. We do see a Mountain King as the second hero choice out of Th00. Yumiko, meanwhile, at tier 2 as well. Don't see any second heroes from him, and I don't see any tech, as he is suffering quite a bit for wood. And Yumiko picking up a Zeppelin of his own, as he bought a Shredder. Okay. But that means they might try to go for like a double Zeppelin drop kind of thing, and that would be funny. And Yumiko getting defensive towers. Maybe try to get an expansion of his own up and running. And if he can get it up without the undead players knowing it, it'll be pretty easy for him. We do see a Lich second out of Ente. Lich taking quite a bit of damage. And still no tech to tier 3 as the expansion delayed his tech. But we do see tier 3 for Juan. Getting Sacrificial Pit as well. Might even get some Frosties later on. Or just a Scouting Shade. Ooh, Pendant of Energy on the Death Knight of Ente, and plenty of coils, and a Sobi mask on the Lich. Plenty of nuke. Plenty. It's like that candy. Good and plenty of coil Nova. Yeah, they made the Warcraft 3 Special Edition candy, Kappa. Anyway, Yumiko running around with his Paladin. Does have the Staff of TP. Gonna be able to do that harassment again. Holy Light to snipe a ghoul. But Ente is around his expansion to help shoo away at this harassment. Meanwhile, we do see Ogi the Mauler being picked up by Th00. It's very nice to get to see my mascot on one of my 100th sub specials. Oh, and the Paladin of Yumiko getting surrounded. Th00 does have a Zeppelin nearby. Is he able to pick him up? Okay, he is able to pick him up. I was wondering why it took him a while. Oh, but at the same time, Juan with a bunch of maned up destroyers sieging away at Yumiko's towers. My bad. Once again, the brown color screws me over. Alright. And Juan doing some nice damage to Yumiko's base, although 2 destroyers have gone down by the towers. You never want to do that. Lose the destroyer to towers. Level 3 onto the Lich of Juan. I heard his Zeppelin noise. What was loaded up into his Zeppelin? I don't know. Okay. There's a bunch of peasants in a Shredder. Is Yumiko gonna let his main base die? I don't know. He does have an expansion with a lot of towers. And oh my gosh. Humans just stupid sometimes. Let's be honest. But I guess Yumiko's gonna let his main base die. I don't know. Lost a lot of peasants, lost all of his towers. His income's been cut short pretty much until this hall goes up.
A player's forces are under siege.
But Th00 with his army, he should be tier 3. Yes, we do see tier 3 for Th00. He's getting the Storm Hammers, so it looks like he'll be going Griffins. Maybe some Night Griffin Knight. Whereas Ente is a little over halfway to tier 3, getting double Slaughterhouse of his own. Bunch of peasants getting caught out, giving level 4 to Ente's Death Knight. Alright, Yumiko going in, gonna try to get some revenge at Juan's base. But Juan should have a TP. I believe he's gonna try to kill the keep though, I would. Especially since Yumiko has no tech buildings, but at the meantime, Th00 attacking into Ente's Expo, who's getting a bunch of spirit towers. Alright, Yumiko being pushed away. Acolytes being pulled in, a bunch of towers spawning up. The difference between human towers and undead towers is undead towers are really expensive. Oh, but we have the holy lights going in, so many towers. Divine Shield being used by the Paladin. Thunderclap from the Mountain King. Alright, Coil gonna save the Fiend though. Mountain King getting bully lighted in Nova, but a Stormbolt to get the Fiend anyway. Meanwhile, Yumiko looks like he will be losing his keep. He already started his tech at his expansion and started 3 workshops before his tech died. So he'll be able to get mortars and gyros. Even building a
player's
Necropolis
forces are
for
under
some
attack.
defensive TPs. And yes, it did go down, and we do see a Mountain King as the second hero choice for Yumiko. Oh, at least coil it. There's plenty of towers. Meanwhile, Ente losing some more heroes as both Th00 and Yumiko are here. So gotta try to be careful. Don't want to lose your Death Knight with a surround or something. Do you have a TP? You do. Oh, coil the steal at the Troll High Priest. Very nice. Denying that little bit of experience. Even the Nova is stealing the Troll Trapper. Alright, what are the supplies looking like? 56 for Juan, 39 for Ente versus 49 of Th00 and 26 of Yumiko. So both the human players are a little low in supply. Although I think Th00 is banking up on that 50 supplies. He has 2 Griffins at 2-0 upgrades. And Ente losing a lot of acolytes, so he hasn't really been feeling the full income of this expansion. And do they know about this secret expansion? No, they don't, but they do have a scouting shade going out and about. We do once again see a Dark Ranger, third out of Juan. She's very nice at dealing with that human nuke. Yumiko backing off with the Divine Shield. And a bunch of gyros being made to deal with those destroyers. Not sure if either player got web. I doubt Juan got web because he never really made a fiend transition. He just went in ghouls until he got the destroyers. But maybe Ente got some web as he did use fiends for a little bit. Actually, both of them just focusing on the destroyers. So if Yumiko can get a bunch of gyros out, it could hurt a lot. Apparently Pit Lord's very good versus gyros. Not really sure about that. I guess his Howl, would his Howl work on it? I don't see the Rain of Fire doing much because, you know, gyros can move away pretty quickly, but I could be wrong. I would think a Panda with a Breath of Fire. Boots of Clothalos, pretty nice item. Probably stuck onto the Dark Ranger, or at least it should. And Yumiko, using this gyros, gonna try to clear out the Red Drake. Let's see what super duper item he can drop. Losing a lot of gyros in the process. Actually, never mind, he's microing back.
Town is under siege.
And the Red Drake's super duper item was Stone Token.
Forces are under attack.
Alright, meanwhile, Juan doing some nice damage. Found a nice soft spot where no towers are, so the Lich able to get in there, do some Novas, snipe some peasants. And even Yumiko taking up the tier 3. And I wonder if they're going to try to build an expo here. Alright, Stormbolt onto the Lich. The Lich getting caught, but he does get Coil, but it's not enough. Lich goes down. Level 2 in the Paladin of Th00. And Juan quickly backing off. Meanwhile, by the looks of things, Ente looks like he's getting ready to brawl at Th00's base. Oh, but another gyro goes down, giving, I believe, level 5 to the Archmage. I believe. Both of the undead players relying heavily on destroyers, which sucks when, you know, Yumiko gets a good gyro mass out. And we do see Cloud being built, so, and 3 more Griffin Aviaries. Oh boy. So, I think he's gonna get a bunch of Dragonhawks. But Ente, with a lot of maned up destroyers, gonna try to attack Th00's base. A lot of towers, they're all clumped up, but the Lich of Ente, oh, gets coiled at the last second. Alright, meanwhile, Divine Shield, Paladin to Yumiko, sniping away at the Acolytes with the Holy Light, and a lot of towers gone down. Wow, destroyers do nice with the towers. That was a lot of towers that died. And Ente scouts this a bunch of Griffin Aviaries. Coil on the Desi is missed.
Player's forces are under attack.
Th00 using a lot of stuff here, trying to run back. Yumiko with a bunch of gyros here. Ente might want to TP out. Ente building more and more acolytes to deal with the ones that were snipes. And Ente quickly TPing out as soon as he saw the gyros. He wants none of that. He doesn't want any of that mumbo jumbo. Alright, more acolytes going back onto the gold mine, but Yumiko can just simply snipe him again if he wanted to. And Yumiko building an expansion on the island, and I don't think they'll be able to scout it, Ente or Juan. And the Paladin going in again with the Divine Shield, Holy Light, one-shotting the acolytes.
The town is under siege.
Alright, Ente trying to come in, but not before the Paladin can get one more Holy Light. He does have a staff of TP, so I'm pretty sure he's going to use that when he's in a tough spot. And there's the staff. TP right out. Meanwhile, where is Juan? Juan, where is my automobile?
A player's forces are under attack.
Alright, Th00 making a Dragonhawk transition, or at least he made one for the Cloud, I suppose. As I don't think Aerial Shackle works on destroyers who are magic immune. In fact, I know it does. But Yumiko has a lot of gyros. Going straight into those towers, though. Cloud coming in from the Dragonhawks and the gyros, slowly sieging away at Ente's expansion. Oh, man. Alright, we do have a TP coming in. I believe it is Juan. Yes, it is. Gonna come in. Cloud has worn off, so more towers coming in, adding a lot of DPS to the undead army, but all these gyros focusing away at the destroyers. So many gyros dying. They all came from behind, apparently. Nova onto the Mountain King. Does go down. Not sure whose Mountain King that was, but we have Juan's Abomination taking a little damage. And Yumiko gonna TP out of this. Nova sniping away at some griffins. Even ghouls being pulled, and Th00 gonna TP out as well. Oh, Ente getting level 5 in his Death Knight. The gold mine did manage to live, so we can still mine off of that. The supplies probably aren't looking too good. 55 for Juan, 62 for Ente, 65 for Th00, and 39 for Yumiko. Yumiko lost a lot of his gyros. He's quickly rebuilding them. Gyros remake quite fast, but oh my gosh. Yeah, I try to remain unbiased as possible, but I'm really hoping the undead wins. Oh, they played it so awesome. For once, Europe needs to beat the Chinese. Oh, but the Paladin, Divine Shield, Holy Light, harassing away at Ente's acolytes, as I'm sure the main gold mines have been running out. Yes, they have. I don't think Ente or Juan's... Okay, they did use a reveal, so they did scout this expo at least. So they know it's there.
A player's forces are under attack.
The Paladin is surrounded, gonna get a Holy Light onto the Acolyte and use the staff and TP out, but he gets coiled Nova'd. But he just gets frickin' Holy Lighted back into health, so all good for him. Oh, and a Ring of Regen. That's actually kind of smart. Getting his regen up as if he had Unholy R or something. A bunch of peasants of Th00 getting caught out by Ente, chases them all down, but Ente getting caught by both the human armies. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight, Death Knight getting focused down, gonna TP out. Griffin Gyro, this army composition, so good. Ente even calling GG, oh my gosh. Th00 and Yumiko winning the best of 3, 2-1. I gotta clap, even though I was hoping for the undead players. That was such a good series. This was the first series of my 100th subscriber special. I still have the best of 5 of Lynn and Infi to do later on this week, along with an FFA game that I might be co-casting with Mage. If you guys like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to watch me play Warcraft 3, follow me on Twitch at Th00, and I'll be catching you guys later.